call this village of Anderson or heating quarter. This rise for the
And pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call vote. What's the Lancaster? Trustee Meyer here. Trustee Happy here. George Johnson here. Trustee Peel here. Trustee Baldwin here. So we have a quorum. Next up, we have identification of potential conflicts of interest. Is there anything on tonight's agenda on which anyone has a potential conflict of interest they want to identify? There being none, correspondence or communication from board and staff. Anybody have anything? Trustee Lancaster.
I did see today that the Neomanasia Sewage Commission, looks like yesterday they approved a $24 million plan to upgrade, with Harrison being responsible for 7.5% of that, according to the news article. So not sure if we were aware of that or not, but if we are, we'll have to see what that means, I guess. So thank you.
So just in clarification, I was at their meeting this morning and they, so the city of Neenah took action, which was precipitated that article that it's actually the influence amount is somewhere around 7 or 8 million that they're going to be doing to put in these cloth filters versus a UV treatment system. So the board voted, or the commission voted to go with a cheaper model, to the cheaper option.
Okay.
So it should be as, it'll be impactful, but it won't be as bad as originally planned.
Okay, thanks.
Any other correspondence? Next up, we have corrections and approval of previous minutes from January 2nd, 2026. Looking for a motion in a second. Trustee Baldwin.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 6, 2026, meeting minutes.
Trustee Brenner.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by Trustee Baldwin and a second by Trustee Brenner. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. Trustee Baldwin.
I can't get in, so can I just do a verbal vote?
Yep. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have some employee recognitions, and I'm going to let Chad do it since he is the person that works with these employees. So go ahead.
Sure. So in the audience with us today is that have recognitions is the village clerk, HR manager Megan Winkler, the building inspector Jason Kritzmacher, and the community risk reduction officer Craig Majewski. So just to start with, we'll take a picture at the end. I'd like to get the board and all the employees and the 3 employees and myself up there, but Megan has, as the memo has stated, has worked through 100 hours over a 3-year period to obtain the certification from the Wisconsin Municipal Clerks Association. So this is a well-deserved certification for municipal clerks, and we appreciate the time and effort that she has put into it. The second is Craig. So Craig has completed the emergency medical technician course in 2025, which will equip him to be more effective in the village emergency response efforts. And he also completed the Fire Inspector 1 training as it relates to his job. So Fire Inspector 1 and Plan Examiner in Wisconsin. So I have a little certificate of appreciation for Craig as well. And then Jason, came on board as a building inspector and last year worked through the Uniform Dwelling Code and received certifications in building, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. So basically, he's doing all of the residential inspections now. We continue to use his predecessor, Paul Birschbach, for commercial inspections, but Jason is working to complete those hopefully in 2026 for building and then in electrical and plumbing after that. So I want to speak congratulatory for these employees for the hard work that they've done. So if you can get a round of applause and then we can. Hey, come on. He told me you didn't know that the picture was in it, but
You want everybody in the board to
Yes.
just huddle right here?
yes, please.
Wait, are you gonna be able to get everybody?
I don't know. I can't see Frank here, so,
I don't like.
and I don't see Mike at all.
That might be right then.
All right, alrighty. All right, to five, so someone.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Keep up the good work. Before we move on, Joel, you still have technical. You have still technical issues. That's still order.
Thank you.
She's hired.
All right. Next up, we have reports. All the reports, is there any questions on any of the reports that are in our meeting? Okay. Just-
Including it and
All right. Got double sided here. Public comments. The village board will receive information from the public in accordance to state with state statute 19.8 or board discussion is information received. No action shall be taken under public comments. General procedure is to allow each person 3 minutes to speak, although it doesn't make time or limit the number of like-minded speakers on the same topic. Anyone wishing to speak should register the name on the sign-in sheet prior to the start of the meeting. That being said, nobody here signed up, so we will go ahead and move on. Next up is the approval of bills and claims for December 2025. You're looking for a motion in a second. Trustee Van Houten,
Yes, I'll let you make a motion, to approve bills and claims for December 2025, it's presented circulated.
Trustee Baldwin.
A second.
So we have a motion by trustee Van Houten, a second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is old business for discussion. At this time, there is none, so. Well.
This is a rezoning for Eugene Frederickson, Highway 85, parcel 4039. And part of parcel 40378 and 40394. And staff recommends approval of the zoning map amendment on business park. EP to industrial and manufacturing with the following conditions. One, recording of the certified survey map as approved by the village board on December 16th, 2025. Prior to the village's signing of the ordinance amending the village of Harrison official zoning map.
And I do believe the commissioner took a look at us, and that one was unanimous. Trustee Benhamdi,
Motion to approve them, the. And parcels. And parcels 40378 and 40394 is printed and circulated.
trustee Brandmeyer.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Benhamdi and a second by trustee Brandmeyer. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12E.
This is a zoning map amendment for rezoning for Daniel South Coop Road, part of parcel 33572. And staff recommends approval of the zoning map amendment from general agriculture to single family residential as submitted.
Trustee Baldwin,
Motion to approve the zoning map amendment from general ag to single family residential as submitted.
trustee Field.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Field. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12C.
This is a conditional use permit from Gene Frederickson Trucking and Excavating Highway 55, parcel 40398. Staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit request with the following conditions. Number one, all provisions of section 117 to 131, resource extraction of the zoning ordinance relating to the shredding of topsoil shall be met. 2, all local state and federal regulations shall be met. 3, no refining activities, including pulverizing or shredding, shall occur when wind speeds exceed 15 miles per hour. Number 4, the site shall be screened and developed to the intent of the site plan. All berming shall be completed prior to the start of the topsoil screening. Number 5, hours of operation shall be limited to daylight hours. Topsoil screening shall only occur from April to November. And number 6, the applicant shall comply with all conditions of approval. And number 7, any substantial violation of these conditions may result in the termination of the conditional use permit.
My only question is what is different about this proposal than the other proposals that we have had in the past?
So this one will be encompassed with a berm around the site, doing landscaping on it, and they're also gonna be putting a hoop house type mechanism over the top of it when they are shredding, but the majority, it's moving further south, kind of east on the lot. So the impact to the surrounding businesses and neighbors is very minimal, which actually it's gonna have more impact on Eugene's house than anybody else where it's situated, but the fact that it's got the berms should definitely cut down on the blowing out in the open field.
Okay. Thank you. We're gonna need a motion in a second first, I guess. Cool.
I'll make the motion to approve the conditional use permit, request with the list of conditions. For parcel, 40398.
Trustee Benhamdi.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Field and a second by trustee Benhamdi. Any discussion?
I would say anything.
Trustee Benhamdi?
Yeah, I think I just want to make a note for the record that I think this is just enough by Gene Frederickson's crew here to offer the berm and the building over above Bear site. Last year we had the Bear site, and actually there was no issues with the Bear site last year for full 12 months. So then point about the Call of Duty here, taking it to another level to work to control the dust even further is, I think, is really good. Good faith effort by the company and for the community.
My only question is the violation reporting. Can you speak on that process? Like, what does that entail?
Right, what do you mean violation of the code?
Well, you had in the proposal, if I read it right, Any substantial violations of these conditions, like,
Yeah, so if he, the resource extraction section of the code has a number of requirements that he has to meet, and if that is violated, or let's say they're doing nighttime shredding operations, or they're outside of the April to November, or the wind is higher than 10-15 miles an hour, then those are all violations.
okay. Any other discussion or questions? There being none, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12D.
This is a certified survey map for Boyd Dietzen Schmidt Road, parcel 33278. And staff recommends approval of the certified survey map, subject to the following condition, and that is construction of the principal structure on either lot 1 or lot 2 shall require rezoning to rural residential.
So we look for a motion in a second. Don't be shy, guys. Go. Trustee Van Houten,
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the certified survey map, city of Salem, Boyd Dietzen Schmidt Road, parcel 33278 as printed and circulated.
trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Van Houten and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster.
Is there a new access being created, or is the second driveway on the CSM an existing driveway?
There's 2 driveways, so it'll be able to serve the 2 lots. There's existing driveways.
So what I just want to confirm what I've heard, the driveway is that correct?
Any further discussion? There being none, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12E.
This is a site plan review for Eugene Frederickson, Highway 55, parcel 40398. And staff recommends approval of the site plan with the following conditions. Number 1, a detailed site plan review pursuant to Article X111 of the zoning ordinance shall be completed prior to issuance of zoning and building permits. Number 2, the Wisconsin DOT approval for a commercial entrance prior to the issuance of any zoning building permits. Number 3, recording of the certified survey map approved by the village board on December 16th, 2025, adjusting lot lines to place the building entirely on parcel 40398 prior to the issuance of any zoning or building permits. Number 4, approval of a conditional use permit prior to the start of any topsoil shredding operations. Number 5, the site plan shall be subject to the review and recommendations of the village of Harrison's engineer of record. Number 6, a grading and drainage stormwater management plan and erosion control plan shall be reviewed and approved by the village engineer and village staff. Number 7, only uses permitted within the applicable zoning district shall be allowed on the site. Number 8, all applicable local, county, and state rules, regulations, and ordinances shall be met. And number 9, any changes to the plan shall require an amendment to the site plan approval.
Kelsey Bowman,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan for Eugene Frederickson, Highway 55, parcel 40398 as written and circulated.
trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12G.
Well, we have F actually.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
That's okay. 2026 asphalt resurfacing project, McMahon Design Bidding and Construction Services. And the motion is to approve the contract with McMahon for design, bidding, and construction services for the 2026 asphalt resurfacing program for Mile Long Road, Clover Ridge Estates, and Linden Hills Estates subdivisions for $60,000.
Trustee Theo,
I'll make the motion to approve the contract with McMahon for design, meeting, and construction services for the 2026 asphalt resurfacing program for Mile Long Road, Clover Ridge Estates, and Linden Hills Estates subdivisions for $60,000.
Trustee Brenner,
I'll second it.
so we have a motion by trustee Deal and a second by trustee Brenner, any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12G.
This is Harrison Commerce Park final roadway improvements, McMahon bidding and construction phase. And the motion is to approve the contract with McMahon for bidding and construction phase for Harrison Commerce Park final roadway improvements for $30,000.
Trustee Baldwin,
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with McMahon for bidding and construction phase for Harrison Commerce Park. Final roadway improvements for $30,000.
trustee Brenner,
I'll second it.
so we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Brenner, any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12H.
This is Unison Way Design for TID 2 through McMahon, and the motion is to approve the contract with McMahon for design, bidding, and construction services for the extension of Unison Way of State Highway 55 to serve new development in TID 2 for $95,800.
Trustee Deal,
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with McMahon for design, bidding and construction services for the extension of Unison Way of State Highway 55 to serve new development in TID 2 for $95,800.
trustee Baldwin,
I'll second.
so we have a motion by trustee Deal and a second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion?
If I may, Chair, so I did get a question from a trustee about whether this is gonna serve the potential wedding barn venue, and yes, it will. So there's some deadlines coming up on the wedding barn, particularly as it relates to financing that project. Should that project not move forward for some reason, I still think it makes sense to work with McMahon, to work with the DOT to figure out what's gonna be needed in order to bring another intersection onto State Highway 55 to service that eastern side of the road. Because if the wedding barn project doesn't happen, something will happen there, and that way at least we can know where we're going and what they're gonna require for turn lanes or anything of that sort out on Highway 55. So I think it still behooves us to do some planning out there and see what it's gonna entail to be able to construct an intersection at that location.
Good. President Hefty,
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion to approve the Unison Way design TID 2 McMahon. As stringent circulated with staff recommendations.
we already have a motion, oh, sorry, that's right. Any other discussion or points of order? If not, let's go ahead and vote it. Alice? And Matt Morgan passes unanimously. Next up is 12I.
This is for various payment requests, and the motion is to approve the 9 applications for payment for various projects totaling $533,502.42.
So as a clarification, there's only 4.
Sorry,
Sorry, 4 applications for payment, but the amount is correct.
Yeah, you guys didn't break down all that, you saw that in your packet. Okay. What's the deal?
I'll make the motion to approve the 4 applications for payment for various projects totaling $533,502.42.
Trustee Baldwin.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by trustee Peel and a second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballots. Next up is 12J.
This is various change orders, and the motion is to approve the Department of Public Works change orders number 16 and 17 totaling $5,446.40. And the fire station 70 BOE change order 1 to 6 for a total of $19,337.95.
Can I get the public here, those watching online, a preview of what these change orders are?
Sure, so change order number 16 is with the DPW expansion project, and that is to upsize the natural gas service to the building. So right now, the natural gas previous to today came off of the south side of the building, now comes off of the north side of the building. It's a larger service, don't quote me on this, but I think it's either inch and 3/4 or 2 inches in order to accommodate the expansion project to the east. So that was not included in the original design because we didn't know that We Energies required change. The other change order for 1,035 is to change out the ductwork in the new addition. They had a spiral ductwork and they're going to a regular square ductwork that's in the center of the base, so that they can raise the truck buckets in the shop and be able to deal with salt and other things that get caught in there and not have to worry about the clearance. So it actually picked up the clearance by changing out the ductwork, I think picked up almost 6 inches of clearance that we don't have to worry about hitting it if they raise the buckets.
Yeah.
The other change order, so fire station 70 change orders, the first 3 change orders, 1 through 3, was for temporary power services. This will be the last time you'll see this. Going forward, the village is just going to pay for those costs versus change ordering them into the contract, because ultimately we're going to be responsible for power bills at that location anyway. There's a change order number 4 is a deduct for some change of some power outlets in the exercise room for $325. The SCBA, and I'm not a fireman, but it's a filling of canisters of oxygen or something. Anyway, so there was a location for the panel change related to that as part of the project. And then for 4,983, this is a review that when we brought Tech Security that does all our security online, there was some additional card readers and a few additional cameras put on the outside of the building to be able to get a full scan of the entire exterior of the building. So they had to change out the electrical work to do that. And then there was some issues in the training room related to the lighting fixtures and the flooring, and they had to be changed out because of product availability or something like that for that. So that's where the change orders came from for fire station 70. We're still within budget. We have 511,815 left on contingency.
Thank you. Brad will be needing a motion on the second on this item. Steve Baldwin.
Thank you. Motion to approve DPW change orders 16 and 17 totaling $5,446.40. And fire station 70 BOE change order 1 through 6 for a total of $19,337.95.
Trustee Van Happy.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Van Happy. Any discussion on the change orders? There being none, please vote your ballots. And thank you for the detail. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12K.
This is resolution in support of reauthorization of the state funding for Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program. And the motion is to approve the resolution B 2026-01 in support of reauthorization of state funding for Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program.
Give us a little.
Yeah, so the way I understand it in the current legislative session, there's a push to get rid of this program that's been around for 30-some years. So one of the organizations that we belong to, which is the Fox City Stormwater Consortium, is requesting that communities, consider a resolution supporting it. It's been a very beneficial state program for outdoor recreation. And there's been a lot of opportunities for funding sources. Recently, the village received $160,000 for the Old Highway Road Trail project. So we're just asking that the legislature continue to fund this program.
Thank you. Trustee Deal,
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution B 2026-01 in support of reauthorization of state funding for Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program.
trustee Lancaster.
I second that motion.
So we have a motion by trustee Deal and a second by trustee Lancaster. Any discussion? There being none, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12L.
This is the acceptance of Sand Hill Landing Water and Sanitary Sewer Mains in the city of Menasha. And the motion is to accept the water and sanitary sewer mains in Sand Hill Landing in the city of Menasha.
Trustee Lancaster,
Motion to accept the water and sanitary sewer mains in Sand Hill Landing in the city of Menasha.
trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Lancaster and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, let's go ahead and vote our ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12M.
This is the intent to purchase lots 9 and 10 of the Crossroads Business Park. And the motion is to approve the intent to purchase lots 9 and 10 in the Crossroads Business.
So before you take a motion under discussion, I just want to mention, this is the group that had previously come forward and requested to actually purchase lot 11. After the decision at the last board meeting related to lot 5 and allowing developers to develop it here, I went back to this group, and so they're looking at lots 9 and 10, combining those two and trying to build 2 buildings of 12,000 square foot, multiple tenants facilities at these locations. I reviewed this with our village engineer, and I don't believe there should be any issues with consolidating those 2 lots. As a matter of fact, lot 10 is kind of a goofy shaped lot in the first place to try to develop on. So if they can pull this off, I think it would be beneficial to the village.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Baldwin,
I'll make a motion to approve the intent to purchase 9 and 10 in the Crossroads Business Park as written and circulated.
trustee Brandmeier.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Brandmeier. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster.
My only concern with this is I don't see any intent as to the any up when they're looking to construct these. Is that yet this year?
Yeah, so that I think what they're going to do in the next, she talked to her today and she said that in the next 3 months, they would know for sure whether the project is moving forward. And then they will be coming in with an offer to purchase, and then they will have 12 months from that.
Okay. So we have a solid with here that the intent, I guess, should we have something on here that this intent is only good for so many months?
Typically, I've been treating these intents as only good for 6 months,
Okay.
because usually that's what it would take to put together financing and drawings and kind of that stuff.
Sure. Sure.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second on this, right? Got it. All right, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12N.
This is implementation of years of service and retirement program for the Village of Harrison, and the motion is to approve the years of service and retirement program attached.
Chad, you wanna expand on this?
Sure, so we had gotten a request from a trustee over, having some type of program for our employees to recognize their years of service and retirement with the village. So after doing some research, Megan, Alyssa, and myself kind of came up with a breakdown of what you would get after 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, and 25 years. And then if you were retiring, and you had more than 5 years, we would have a luncheon up to $250. And if you were less than 5 years, it would be a staff provided public just to recognize the person as part of their retirement. So we don't really see this as being a big financial burden on the village. I mean, we're talking a couple $100 to do this. And I think it's a good tool for.
Yeah, thank you. Trustee Dion.
I would make the motion, I will make the motion to approve the years of service retirement program as attached.
Trustee Lancaster.
And I will second that motion.
All right, we got a motion by trustee Deal and a second by trustee Lancaster. Any discussion? First up is trustee Brandmeier.
So this is for full-time employees, not EMS and fire.
Correct, it's for full-time employees, but I have had a discussion with Jared about looking at something similar for the fire department.
Cool, good. Trustee Lancaster.
I just want to comment, this is extremely great to see. Our people really are our greatest asset. And sometimes it isn't super expensive to recognize somebody, but it's the recognition itself and showing them that they truly matter is important. So thank you for putting this together.
Any discussion or comments? If not, let's go ahead and vote our ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12O.
This is employee handbook changes, and it's in regard to the resignation, retirement, and final pay. And the motion is to approve language drafted by the village's employment attorney, Von Breesen, and incorporate in the 2024 employee handbook or lay over to the February 2026 meeting for revisions.
Trustee Baldwin. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, just as a quick little, so there was some discussion that happened earlier this year related to a resignation of an employee. So we worked with the village's attorney to come up with this language as to how we would handle vacation payouts if somebody should resign within the early part of the year. One thing I will say is in the, it says the separation of employees and administrative positions, it actually needs to be all employees. It's just not administrative positions. They will be treated for all employees, and we have shared this with the employee meeting, so they're aware of what the board's potentially taking action on.
All right, so we got trustee Deal and trustee Baldwin. So are you guys making motions in seconds?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve language drafted by the village's employment attorney Von Breesen and incorporated in the 2024 employee handbook or lay over to February 2026 meeting for revisions.
And I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Deal. Any?
So just some clarification on the motion. So is your motion to, so there's two options here. Either the board can adopt this tonight and we'll incorporate it into the handbook, or it can lay over until the February meeting if there's revisions needed. So if you could clarify if your motion is to
Absolutely.
tonight.
Mine was to incorporate it and as you wrote it. I read it and incorporate it, so.
Discussion, trustee Lancaster.
My only question was with your comment about the word administrative, is there anything you need around that or?
Yeah, maybe the motion should just reflect that it's for all employees.
Should I have to take it back and then do it again?
I think you could just amend
I'm
that.
going to amend the motion then to approve the language drafted by the village's employment attorney Von Breesen and incorporate in the 2024 employee handbook for all employees.
So we have a motion to amend to add extras.
To remove it and make sure it's all.
And still bring all employees. We'll just need a second.
Also,
Trustee Lancaster,
It was Frank, I don't think he was gonna second, Kate.
I don't think you can amend your motion. Your own motion, right? Has to be somebody else.
I think you can amend your own.
Okay. And in a second, it has to be somebody else or do you
It's like-
think?
Typically, it would be the second that did it.
Okay. Trustee Theo?
I'll second that.
All right, so we have an amendment by trustee Baldwin and a second on the amendment. We'll do a roll call vote on the amendment. Trustee Lancaster.
Aye.
Trustee. Brenner. Aye. Trustee Van Hefty.
Aye.
Those present votes aye. Trustee Field.
Aye.
Trustee Baldwin. So the ayes have it for the amendment. So now we have the full motion with the amendments. Any discussion on that item? There being no more discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12P.
This is a change in job description title, from assistant planner to zoning administrator. And the motion is to reclassify the assistant planner position to a zoning administrator position.
Trustee Lancaster,
Make a motion to change the job description slash title from assistant planner to zoning administrator.
trustee Graham.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by trustee Lancaster and a second by trustee Brandmeier. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster,
Super quick, I take it the employee that's in back says no concerns.
Right.
there being no other discussion, please vote your ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12Q.
This is a natural gas installation by We Energies in Harrison Commerce Park. And the motion is to approve the natural gas facilities installation in Harrison Commerce Park for $22,603.44.
And that will come over the TID, right?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Van Hefty,
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the electric installation of the Energies Harrison Commerce Park as printed circulated.
trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballots. Motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12R.
This is the electric installation by We Energies for Harrison Commerce Park. And the motion is to approve electric facilities installation in Harrison Commerce Park for $74,843.29.
Trustee Van Hefty,
Oh, I'd like to make a motion to approve that for Decker Street Lights, We Energies Harrison Commerce Park as printed circulated.
trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Field. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster,
I think we're doing electric service for the lights.
We are at our red letter R.
we have to run our, right?
He said decorative streetlights.
Oh, I said T.
Yeah.
Right, wow. Let's try it again.
I'm going to have you. Coming down.
Go ahead, try it again.
Okay, I'd like to,
Trustee Van Hefty.
yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the electric service installation. We Energies Fire Station.
No, you want to.
Excuse me. Well, I can make a motion electric installation, Energy Harrison Commerce Park. This printed circulated.
Trustee Theory, you want to second that again?
Just I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Field. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Now we're on 12S.
Yeah, this is the electric service installation by We Energies for Fire Station 70. And the motion is to approve electric service installation to the new Fire Station 70 for $10,779.80.
Trustee Baldwin,
Motion to approve electric service installation to new fire station 70 for $10,779.80.
trustee Field.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Field. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. Motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12P.
This is decorative streetlights by We Energies in Harrison Commerce Park. And the motion is to approve a contract with We Energies to install decorative lights in the Harrison Commerce Park for $45,900.88.
Trustee Field,
I would make a motion to approve the installation of the decorative lights by We Energies in the Crossroads Business Park.
It's actually in the Harrison Commerce Park.
Harrison Commerce Park, yes.
Am I wrong?
It's wrong on the memo, but it's right on the agenda item.
Okay. I make the motion to approve the decorative lights installation by We Energies in the Harrison County Park. For $45,000 and $45,900.88.
Trustee Brentmeyer.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Field and a second by trustee Brentmeyer. Any discussion?
Under discussion, I just want to state that it stands, we felt that given that this is kind of a central business area for the village, it made sense to put a more decorative pole up in there instead of our typical wood poles with a cobra head. However, these have an 8-week lead time, 8 to 10 weeks. So the recommendation from We Energies was to approve and they would order them, but they won't be installed until after April 1st. So we didn't have to pay seasonal frozen ground charges, but I think the timing will work out well with everything else that's going on with it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12U.
This is V 26-03, an ordinance repealing and recreating chapter 103, sections 103.1, 103.2, 103.10, 103.24, 103.27, 103.28, 103.30 of the Village Land Development Code. And the motion is to approve ordinance V 26-03, repealing and recreating chapter 103, sections 103.1, 103.2, 103.10, 103.23, 103.24, 103.25, 103.27, 103.28, and 103.30 in the land development code.
So just to clarify what's going on here, so when Jason became the village's employee for building inspection services in order to become a delegated inspection facility through the Department of Safety and Professional Services, they're requiring us to update our code section because all of our codes reference Tom's code sections, which was the Department of Commerce, which has gone away, I don't know, 20 years ago. So really what this is doing is just changing everything from COM to SPS and getting it in line with what the state is requesting of us in order to become this delegated inspection agency, so Jason can do UDC inspections on residential homes. I will say that there is additional sections of this statute of this ordinance that will come back at a later date once we have time to get to it, but this is the most immediate need at this point to comply with state requirements to be able to be a licensed inspection agency.
Trustee Ballin,
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance V 2603, repealing and recreating chapter 103, sections 103.1, 103.2, 103.10, 103.23, 103.24, 103.25, 103.27, 103.28, and 103.30 Land Development Code.
trustee Brandmeier.
One second.
So we have a motion by trustee Ballin and a second by trustee Brandmeier. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12D.
This is a settlement agreement for the 2019 fire protection fees with the city of Menasha. And the motion is to approve the settlement agreement between the village of Harrison and the city of Menasha.
Trustee Lancaster,
Motion to approve the settlement agreement between the village of Harrison and the city of Menasha.
trustee Van Huffy.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by trustee Lancaster and a second by trustee Van Huffy. Any discussion?
So under discussion, I just want to acknowledge that the city of Menasha and the village of Harrison acknowledge the fact that over the time of change of leadership roles may have led to this. They were a little upset that we filed suit on them, a notice of injury and claim. However, the village attorney, Ross Meisel, has been able to work with them to get to this point. So their council should be taking action on this on Monday night. And if the recommendation from the city attorney is to pay the bill, the outstanding amount of $72,749. The city did have some concerns about the 2020 fees. That was not part of this rate case. So at this point, this release includes that we would not come back under the 2020 fees, but at this stage, we're not sure what happened to the 2020 fees. So they're not on our books. This is on our books, so we're just focusing on this 2019 payment.
And if so the village is aware there was a time period that
Yes.
there were a lot of missing records of sorts, so hard to go after someone when you don't have any information. So at least we got this all taken care of now, so appreciate it. Trustee Theo,
What is the estimated value of the 2020 fees? Any idea?
We don't have a number.
Probably would have been similar to the 72,000 that we're collecting from 19.
Well,
Exactly.
I commend you for getting this done and behind us and at least that much color.
Yes.
so we need a motion and a second on this.
We have one right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any more discussion? What are the motion and a second on line?
Trustee Lancaster, and secondly by trustee Lancaster.
I typically write them down and have them in else. We'll make sure to write them down. Okay, any other discussion? If not, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12W.
This is the Farmers Field Pavilion update on project completion, and the motion is as determined by the board.
All right, take it away, Jeff.
So when we kind of negotiated a memorandum of understanding with the Kimberly School District to build the Farmers Field shelter, it was agreed that this project would be done in the spring semester. However, the current weather conditions and the challenges of the instructor in trying to quote unquote kind of herd cats get the kids where they need to be and doing all of that kind of stuff out there has proven to take it a little bit longer than the school district had thought this would. So they have proposed two options to us. One option is that we would allow the district to finish this project. Have until December 31st of 2026, so the end of this year, to complete the project. Or we would hire a contractor in the summer to finish the project. I'm suggesting option one. I think this is a good relationship. It's good for the students to learn. The building will lose the summer for the rentals in there, but we'll just address it in 2027, and I don't see any issues. Or the only concern that internal staff had raised was to make sure that the building is secured over the summer months when there's no students out there. And the project manager has confirmed that the doors and the windows and all of that stuff will be in. So it will be pretty well, it'll be all completely secure for summer operations that happen in the park. But then they will pick it up first thing in September when the kids come back to school, and he believes that they can get it finished by the end of the year.
I'm gonna open up for discussion before we decide what we do for a motion. So first up is trustee Lancaster.
I was ready to make a motion, but, is that okay?
I would like to hear before we just jump into a motion, I guess, what the thoughts are from.
I guess this is a very valuable partnership, I believe, and, gives students it's hard to get real life experience for students, and so I believe that, and the school district is being very proactive and asking us now. I mean, I guess I want to give praise to the school district and the instructor and stuff for bridging us forward now and not, saying, oh, come May and then, oops, we're not there. So with that being said, I'm very supportive of option one, allowing the school district to have until December 31st to finish this. Thank you.
Trustee Baldwin.
Thank you. I think it's great that the students are doing this. I just have a couple of questions. Do we have workable restroom facilities there at Farmers Field?
Porta potties.
Okay, so that would be the case then through the summer.
Yes,
Do
and we've had porta potties there for park usage before that, so we would just continue through the summer.
My second question has to do with the use of the park. Do you think not having a facility there is gonna, put a damper on people using the park no? Okay. And then my last question is, what would be different? I get it, if he's trying to herd cats to get these kids to be where they're supposed to be and do this. I just wouldn't, I'm a little nervous about taking the chance that next semester will be different than this semester was, or are they that much closer to finishing this?
Well, they're that much, they would be that much closer. I think what the goal is to get the walls all framed up and plywooded, and then get the roof on this year yet. And then they would just have the exterior finishes and the interior work to do. He believes that the interior, a lot of the interior space is just, it's an all open area, so there's not a lot of, and then some plumbing fixtures and stuff. So he believes that if they can finish up the school year and get the roof on, what's left can be done in a semester.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Trustee Van Happy.
Yes, I've been out there to the site 3 or 4 times, talking to Kevin Schaefer. The foundation got put in late because of the weather, and we've had some extreme weather this winter. Excessive cold and a lot of snow, and they've had a lot of cold days when you're working in sub-zero temps, for frostbite. So it really curtailed a lot of construction here in the last 30 days. So just bear that in mind. Otherwise, they probably would have been more on schedule, but it was just weather, and safety comes first. And I also agree with Matt Lancaster and giving them the benefit of the doubt and have them go through the end of 2026 to complete this project, because that long term is good for the kids in the program at Kimberly High School.
Trustee Theo.
Thanks for your thoughts on how far they anticipate being by the end of this school year. When we get to the end of the school year and they're nowhere near that, being able to have enclosed, secure enclosure that they can basically shutter for the summer. Or, well, that's one point. What if you get there and there's no roof on it, or it's not a securable structure, and they're not as far along as they anticipate being?
Well, they've been we have weekly meetings, Zoom meetings on it, so they've been very forthcoming in their schedule, in their timing, so I'm guessing we're gonna hear about that. Sooner rather than later, and if they don't get everything done, then they're prepared to plywood over the openings and stuff and get it secure and tight. Some of us, and then if they had to, we could always look at some kind of like chain link fencing more than the stuff fencing that's out there. If we needed to, but my goal is to get it all tidied up. And we have cameras out there now, so we'll be able to see what's going on.
And I suppose there's no way that they could take advantage of the summer and work, this program through the summer months with this class of kids.
You could talk to the kids and see if they want to work during the summer, but I kind of have to tell them.
So. I'll say, I think I'm inclined to give the kids experience. This is all part of project management. It's all part of. You gotta deal with what comes your way and you gotta adjust and you gotta be able to. Make plans when things don't go exactly right. And I think it also helps the instructors. And the kids with the program to say, okay, we got some admins, but. I think it's important to have the kids see it through. I mean, granted, it's graduating now that are working on it, probably won't be able to finish it, but at least some of those kids will be able to see it all the way through. And I think that's important. I think that it's important for kids to say, you know what, I worked on that. I got to see it all the way completed. So with that, I will leave it to the board members to make a motion and then we can go from there. Trustee Van Hefty.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to. With the Phillips Field Pavilion update, project completion as printed and circulated with staff recommendations.
So you want to do option one?
Yes.
Trustee Lancaster?
I'll second that.
So we have a motion. For option one. And a second by trustee Lancaster. Second by trustee Lancaster. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12X.
This is a Ranger purchase for Harrison Fire Rescue, and the motion is to approve a purchase of a Polaris Ranger in the amount of $34,700 from Grits. And Grits was the one that provided the whole quote.
Trustee Baldwin.
Motion to purchase a Polaris Ranger in the amount of $34,750 from Lewis, which also provided the lowest quote.
Trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
It's got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12Y.
This is a trailer purchase for Harrison Fire Rescue. And the motion is to approve a purchase of a trailer for the Polaris Ranger in the amount of $9,302.50 from Birchberger Sales and Service. The trailer is a custom design incorporating the need for Stokes basket storage and PFD storage.
Trustee Theo.
I'll make a motion to purchase a trailer for the Polaris Ranger in the amount of $9,302.50 from Merschberger Sales and Service.
Trustee Baldwin.
I'll second.
It's got a motion by trustee Theo and a second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion? I guess the public, can I get the fire chief to tell us what this new Ranger would be used for?
Yeah, sure. We have multiple fires, ice rescues, down here. I'll give you two concrete examples. We've had a couple of hail bays, that bales that have been on fire in over fields. And we were lucky enough this past year where you were able to take the engine into the field and extinguish the fire. And transport some personnel that way. However, that's not always going to be the case. We got kind of lucky, and to get out to some of these fires and situations, it's a haul, right? To haul equipment and people. So the Ranger will help with that. We can use this Polaris Ranger for some public ed events that are going to be in the parks in Sherwood and Harrison. So it's going to be a multi-use thing. Last summer we had fire just to the east of and down by the ponds there. Well, that's again, our guys are around that gear. You get all the brooms and equipment, the water cannons and everything down there. It just helps cool people and equipment.
Yeah, thank you. That being said, any other discussion? Okay, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 12Z.
This is open discussion and consideration to discuss future contract terms between the village of Harrison and the village of Sherwood and the town of Woodville related to a fire service contract prior to potentially going into closed session to discuss strategy and bargaining authority for the village manager to use in negotiation of said agreement.
And so before closed session, I believe it's important that we have an open discussion. Just so that the public doesn't feel like we're doing stuff nefarious in closed session. So as part of this process, I guess we are looking to renegotiate based on our last meeting with the fire study to renegotiate our contract with the village of Sherwood and the town of Woodville. My understanding is we do have some sort of a framework with Woodville, but not so much with the village of Sherwood. So I guess Chad, do you kind of agree about that?
Well, yes and no. So we have had some good dialogue with the town of Woodville. We've got some leadership changes happening in the village of Sherwood that we can talk about, but this is really stemming from the fact that the village has an agreement with the village of Sherwood that hasn't been updated since 2014, and a village with an agreement with the town of Woodville that hasn't been updated since 1992, or 34 years ago. So I think, we've got capital costs with a new fire station, a renovation of the station, and a number of new engine purchases that are pretty significant. So the plan would be to renegotiate those contracts to try to include some of the capital costs in those agreements so that the Harrison taxpayer isn't having to subsidize.
Okay, any comments or any thoughts from the other board members before we go into closed session on these contracts? I guess the only thing I will say is I feel as though the village of Sherwood will be not very easy. I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to have to, I think it's going to be something that we're going to have to come together as a board and close session as far as how to go about executing a new contract, but that again will be something that Chad will lead the discussion, but we'll have to come to some sort of strategy on which way we're gonna go. Trustee Lancaster.
So just for the public's sake here, and then I think we definitely, if we have a closed session to discuss negotiating tactics. It's going to be extremely important that as much as possible, we need to make sure that we stress partnership and the value that both Harrison brings, but also the value that both Woodville and Sherwood also bring to the department. Really, we are better as a department being one department. There's a lot of history over many, many, many years. There's a lot of finger pointing that could take place that I do not want to see happen. And so whatever we can do to help make sure we are setting the best foot forward and a positive step forward and stressing that we do want partnership is going to be very important. Now, that also does mean that we also need to stress something has to change. We cannot continue the status quo at all because it is not fair to our Harrison taxpayers. In addition, existing agreements aren't even being fully honored. And so I really hope that whatever new gets worked out, and I do hope, and I want to stress this, I do hope that new agreements are worked out with both Woodville and Sherwood, again, stressing the value of a joint partnership. But those agreements then need to be win-win for all three communities, and they need to be honored. We have situations with Sherwood where we're being billed for water that shouldn't be, because they agreed in writing not to, but yet they are. Looking back at the Woodville stuff, Woodville is supposed to be paying us an hourly charges, and they're not. Now, I think that might be partially on our fault for not billing certain things the right way too. So that's why there's not, we don't want to pass blame either here. This really is about moving forward as a win-win. So I'll leave it at that.
Trustee Bernard, did you want to?
No, the comments are good. I can talk in public session.
Okay. I think it's important that we go into closed session, so I'll be looking for a motion. Well, first, let's get through, item 13, future agenda items. Is there any future agenda items that the two trustees would like to bring forward for future meetings? Okay, there being none, we can go to 14. We do have a listening session on February 10th. Again, I encourage the public to come and the village board members bring their ears, and we can just sit and listen to our constituents and give them another opportunity to have some dialogue with the village board and the staff. We have a village board meeting on February 27th. And we have a joint meeting with Harrison, Woodville, and Sherwood at Fire Station 60. So please put that on your calendar. It won't be here. It'll be at Station 60 on March 10th. So don't show up here at what time? 6 p.m. because nobody will be here. We'll be at Station 60. So everybody knows where that's at, right? Okay.
Like full time,
6 p.m.
the February 10th meeting.
February 10th will be 6 p.m. And then end of March, village board meeting will March 31st. So that's it for item 14. Next up is item 15E, closed session. So I'll let Alyssa read. Paul, first, do we have to make a motion to go into closed session, or we have to read this first?
We should read this first.
Okay.
Hold on.
What?
You got a comment, I guess. I had a question before you go on to the next item.
What's your question, sir?
Thank you. For future agenda or future meetings. Do we have, there's some plans to do some additional. I'm like advertising promotions to get hopefully people to come to the February 10th.
Yes,
The same session
yes.
coming up. Okay. All right. And then I know we got a little bit ways out, but just so that we're not hard. I know in past years, from April, we've been caught off guard with appointments between elections and all of that. So can we start looking to see if there's anything different we need for April so that we know in advance? Thank you.
Okay.
Ready for me?
You're up.
All right. The board may convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute, section 19.85(1)(e), for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating contract terms wherever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Specifically to discuss strategy and bargaining authority to be used by the village manager in negotiations related to the fire service contract with the village of Sherwood and the town of Woodville. Attendees may include the board, village manager, finance director, treasurer, village clerk, village attorney, and it isn't here, but it also should include the fire chief.
That's what I was gonna say, thank you. Okay. We need a motion and a second on this. Trustee Van Happy,
I'll make a motion. On closed session?
trustee Baldwin,
I'll second.
so there's a motion by trustee Van Happy and a second by trustee Baldwin. This will be a roll call vote. We're gonna go this way this time, trustee Baldwin.
Aye.
Trustee Thiel.
Aye.
Philip Conlon says aye, trustee Van Happy,
Aye.
trustee Grantmeyer.
Aye.
Trustee Lancaster.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break and get ready.
Just so you know, if you need